What's up, Roxstars? It's Rox, and I'm coming to you today with the 66th installment of Black Girls on Television, Part 2, for How to Get Away with Murder, the winter finale. So let's get to it, shall we? All right, you guys, you know how to Get Away with Murder rolls. A lot of going back and forth. But again, we got to do it in the order that it happened for it to make the most sense. So y'all just stick with me. It was a lot of shit. Okay, so the show opens with Oliver at the party. Okay, and he's on the phone. He's got a call, and he gets some information on there, and he's rushing through the party to the elevator. When he gets to the elevator, you know, he's having some self-talk. And when he gets off the elevator onto a different floor, we see Laurel, Michaela, and Asher. Asher looking disgusted back there in the back. Okay, Michaela back there kind of breathing hard. She looked like she wet. And when Laurel walks up to Oliver, she got some blood splatters on her, and she's looking all catatonic. And he was like, wait, what's going on? All right. And then he walks around the corner and looks down, and he's just like, oh my God. And this was at 9:15. Okay. And then it backs up to 24 hours beforehand. Okay. So now it is 9:24, the day before the party, after Oliver had told Connor that they had been lying to him. So I guess Oliver and Connor had rushed over to Wes's house, where Laurel has been staying, and, you know, Finance Frank is there, and so is Michaela and Asher. Okay, they having a meeting. Now, skip over to Annalise. We see her on the elevator. It's been a long ass day. She looked tired. She looks worn. She looks beat. She's on the elevator, and the elevator gets stuck. Okay, she's just like, please, not today. Nobody got time for this shit. But she gets it to keep going, and she finally makes it to her floor. There is Mrs. Winterbottom. And Miss Winterbottom tells her, you know what, I got to tell you something about Isaac. So she tells her that she was meeting with him and all of that, and she tells Annalise that she did it all to hurt her. Annalise was just like, well, did it work, Bonnie? I mean, why do you go through these things? What is wrong with you? You know what? I'm scared of you. I can't deal with you no more. Bonnie is trying to convince her that she loves Annalise, and Annalise was like, no, you don't love me. You a little strange. You need to get the hell up out of here before I call the police, because I cannot with you anymore, Miss Winterbottom. And then, honey, Bonnie get that same disease that Finance Frank has. And she was just like, okay, you mad at me for now, but you gonna need me in the future. Okay, and I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be waiting because I love you, Annalise. I said, boy, what do Annalise got that she puts on these people where they just can't live without her? At the same time, we see Isaac going off on his wife, okay, because she went and told Annalise all of this shit. And he was like, why would you do that? And she says, I'm trying to save you. I'm trying to help keep you alive. I said, girl, is a little bit of jealousy tinged up in there too? What y'all think? He says, you couldn't stand my relationship with a powerful woman. I said, what kind of relationship is it? It is so interesting how we still don't really know if Isaac and Annalise is going to, if something is going to happen there. They have really made that tension confusing between the two of them. Now, back at Wes's apartment, okay, everybody is trying to convince Connor that this plan is good. And he was just like, it is not. You guys are going to be in trouble. You are going to get killed. This is crazy. And then he tells Finance Frank, and you the main one that shouldn't be even condoning this shit, okay? And you crazy. Because now that Mommy Annalise doesn't deal with you, now you focused your energies on Mama Laurel. And child, why he say that, honey, Finance Frank then pushed him up against the wall and, you know, was choking him out. And, you know, everybody was trying to get Finance Frank off of Connor. And Laurel finally gets him off. And, you know, his hands go back like this. And, you know, he's all mad. And I was just like, wait a minute, Connor. Now, don't be saying shit unless you can back it up. So then Laurel, she turns the old Jedi mind trick on him and tries to make it seem like this is even for his own good. Okay, remember he was feeling bad about, you know, cracking Wes's ribs and watching him die and not doing anything. And you said you would help me and, you know, this would help me and all of this bullshit. I said, I'm so fucking sick of Laurel and her eyebrows. Really, I cannot. And he says, okay, well, you know what? This party. All right, I'm going too. They like, so the party, the gang is all there and everybody is having a good time, but you know, everybody's nerves is bad as well. They know that they got to try to get into these servers. Drake is around lurking as usual, and he even makes shit even worse. Okay, so yeah, it's tense. Laurel doesn't go to the party though. She stays back at Wes's house and, you know, she's pacing around and she's thinking about different things. Finance Frank, the same time, goes over to Drake's house. He knows that they're not there at the moment. You know, he's at the party. Okay, and he goes and does the whole setup. Remember, they're going to frame him for the card and the server situation if they are found out. At the same time, we see Annalise. She's working on her case, but she cannot concentrate. She's having all these flashbacks of different things that have happened, the shit that Bonnie has said to her, and, you know, shit that she said to Isaac, and just all the shit that's been going down. Laurel is having bad flashbacks at the same time as well, just thinking about everything. And then her phone rings. Laurel rolls over and picks up the phone, and all she says is, "What are you talking about?" Not quite sure who that was on the phone. Then we see Annalise. She's rushing out of the door of her apartment. So I'm trying to figure out where Annalise is rushing off to, too. Next scene, we see Bonnie and Real Nice Nate. What do they do best but sit around and talk about Annalise? Bonnie got a bottle because shit, ain't nothing going her way. She sits down and she's crying to him about, you know, what happened with Annalise and how she was trying to hurt her and then she was trying to help her. And Real Nice Nate, he's just a good dude. He sits and he listens and he's like, you know what, I'm gonna order some pizza. Okay, soak up some of that damn alcohol in you because I don't want you to throw up on my couch. Okay, so Bonnie got it bad. Okay, she's in a bad way. Now back at the party, all of a sudden Simon Drake is human. He goes and confesses his damn love to Oliver. Oliver's like, "You're gay?" And he's like, "I don't know if I am or not, but you know, I really like you. You're not like everybody else." And I was just like, really, Drake? Drake reminds me of a child that really likes you, but instead of just telling you that, he got to act out and be annoying to everybody and hide his real feelings. But yeah, I guess it was the night to let Oliver know that he cared about him. So then Oliver feels bad. All right, so he goes and tells the rest of the group, like, "Look, maybe this ain't a good idea. Maybe we shouldn't do this." They're like, "What the hell you mean? No, we doing this today." While they're sitting there talking, then in walks Laurel. They was like, "Fuck, what are you doing here?" Laurel's just there to remind them that they got to do this because Wes never gave up on us. Now, Annalise, where was she rushing off to? She was rushing off to Isaac's. And again, it's that tension again. All right, she's telling him that she's not going to report him for the shit that Bonnie told her because she still wants to see him. She's being selfish. All right, and he's trying to convince her that maybe they don't need to see each other anymore. But yeah, she's... I can't put my finger on it. Are they or are they not going to be sexually intimate? Or are they just codependents? Because she was just like, "I'm an alcoholic and you're an addict. Fuck, why can't we get together? Seems like this would be a match made in heaven." Right when she tells him that she needs him to help her, and he starts to walk towards her, and I was just like, "Oh, is this it? Is this it?" The phone rings. Okay, and she's like, "I gotta take this." So she leaves out. It's Connor, and he tells her that Laurel's dad killed Wes. And he tells her the entire plan, that he's at the office and that they are going to bankrupt Laurel's dad's company. Now at the party, all right, I guess the partners are having their speeches and it's time for Steen to go up. That Steen was looking good. I said, "Girl, you best." Yes, she be doing it. Your fave could never, bitch. Anyway, it's time for her to go up, and Michaela, before she goes up, she tells her nobody would give a speech with their purse in her hand. So Steen gives her purse to Michaela. All right, so the plan is in action. All right, so Steen goes up there and she's giving her speech, and Michaela goes and takes the key over to Asher. She says, "You guys got 5 fucking minutes. Get in there, get what you need, and bring that damn key back to me." So Asher rushes off, and we see him go to the room where the servers are, and there is Laurel and Oliver. They swipe, they get up in there, and it's taking a little bit longer than they thought it was going to be. Getting down to that last minute, and you know, they getting all the shit. Michaela's looking at her phone like, "Oh my God, like what are they doing?" She's got this fake little grin on her face, and here comes Drake. What's going on? Why you looking so stressed out? She's like, "What are you talking about?" He was like, "You got that look on your face, okay? And I can tell that it's not real. Like, what's going on?" I said, "See, this is why it's not gonna end well for you, Drake." Jumping back over to the servers, Laurel and Oliver get what they need, and they come out. They're going to give the card to Asher, and Asher says, "No, you go and put the card on Simon, plant it on him." And they're like, "What? That's not the plan." I said, "No, go do it." All right, so then Oliver goes back into the party, and he's trying to find Simon Drake, but he can't find him. I said, "This is the stupidest plan. Why would you guys change a plan in the middle of it happening?" I said, "Stupid, dumb. This was a mistake." While he's looking around the party for Drake, Connor calls him and he says, "Hey, I told Annalise everything that's going on, and Oliver is like, what? Why did you do that? He says, Annalise is going to help us. So then we see Annalise on the phone, and she's leaving a message. Annalise telling Laurel, trust me, Laurel. Annalise actually hadn't left the counselor's office yet. She's still in the hallway. Isaac was just like, is everything okay? Annalise was like, yeah, I got to go. And this is when we see the opening scene at 9:14 or whatever time it was, when Connor's rushing through the party. He gets on the elevator, he goes downstairs, and there is a Laurel, Asher, and Michaela. Okay, and then he's like, what's going on? And he walks around the corner, and there's Drake. Okay, that motherfucker is looking like he is dead on the ground. He is bleeding out, and Oliver says, oh my God. Okay, they tell him to shut up. And then the camera backs up again, which was actually kind of clever because they're trying to give it from everybody's standpoint. This time the camera backs up to when Oliver comes out of the server room. And after Oliver rushes off to go find Drake, he actually confronts Laurel and Asher in a different direction. And Drake is like, what's going on? I overheard something with a key card. Like, what are you guys doing? He threatens to tell. And this is when they're in the room where, you know, we see, unfortunately, Drake bleeding out. So they're in the room, and Drake was like, what's going on? Why are you guys acting so shifty? So then he sees that Laurel has this bag in her hand, and he snatches it from her. What is this? What's in here? He pulls out this gun. And I was like, you are so fucking stupid, because why would they have a gun unless something illegal was about to go down? And why are you grabbing it? Okay, motherfucker, you are a lawyer. You should know that that probably is evidence or will be evidence in some future. Why would you pull it out like that? Okay, so when his stupid ass was trying to talk to them and waving that gun around and shot himself, child, I couldn't do nothing but I was just like, oh my God, that nigga flew up in the air and everything. When he landed, I said, I know I shouldn't be laughing at this boy shooting himself, but that is sort of what you get, stupid. I was just like, did he really get shot? I mean, I had to rewind that and look at that shit. So, yeah, Drake shot himself, and they're all like, oh my God, did he just shoot himself? At first, they're like, he shot himself. That's on him. But then they're like, nobody is going to believe that. So they're starting to panic like, oh my God, this man has shot himself and it looks like we did it. So now they're in like panic mode. Oliver, they're trying to get him together. Asher's trying to administer CPR. You know, they need to call 911. But they're like, wait a minute, we got to set up the scene here. So, you know, they try to figure out where to put the gun and all of that. And once they get everything placed where it should be, then they call 911. At the same time, Finance Frank gets a call from Annalise. She was just like, you know what? You fucked up again. Now you didn't put Laurel in danger. And he was like, she's not in any danger. She's at the apartment. Okay. And she was like, no, she's not. She is at the party. She is not safe. You need to get her. When we go back to the party, I guess the plan is still in motion, the new plan now. Michaela goes down to the party with blood all over her, and she's just like, help me! Everybody's looking at her like, girl, what is all this on you? Steen rushes up to her and says, what's the matter? Tell me, you know, take a breath. Tell me what happened. Now, Annalise, she's stressed out. She gets home, gets off of the elevator. She's walking up to her door, and she hears like somebody screaming out, and she turns around and looks like, what is that? And then it backs all the way up again to when Oliver first notices Drake bleeding out on the floor. This time Michaela tells Laurel to leave. All right, she doesn't need to be there. She wasn't supposed to be there in the first place. And so Laurel does leave. She's on her way, I guess, to her home originally, but then she gets a message from Annalise who's saying that she wants to help her. And so instead, Laurel goes to Annalise's. And child, this is when it gets tough. So she gets to Annalise's apartment, hotel building, and she gets on the elevator. Okay, right when she pushes the button, we notice that blood is dripping down from her inside of her dress, inside of her legs. And when she gets on the elevator, it's alarmingly more blood running down her legs. Okay, so she's just like, oh my God, what is going on? Suddenly, she starts to bleed profusely. At the same time, the elevator gets stuck. She's pushing the buttons, but nothing is happening. You know, the blood is coming out and it's getting more and more, and she's trying to stop it, put her hands up there. She can't do it, child. She's bleeding out. She's in pain. She's screaming, and nobody is there to help her. She's trying to hold on to the wall. She slides down to the floor. She tries to call 911, but she can't get any service. Okay, she's all, help me, please. Okay, and the blood is just coming out. It is quite the gory scene. Not quite as bad as the death of Wes, but yeah, it was really, really close. So much blood. I was just like, okay, Peter and Shonda, we get it. But I guess they had to make it. They had to make sure they got their point across. So I guess Laurel's trying to figure out what made this happen in the first place. And remember when I told you that Fine Ass Frank was choking out Connor? Well, turns out that Fine Ass Frank, when Laurel broke up the fight, his elbow hit her in the stomach. So we're imagining that this was why she was now going into premature labor. Okay, so she's on the ground, she's bleeding out, she's screaming, but she is losing energy. You can tell that she is about to pass out or she about to die. We don't really know what it is, okay? But it ain't looking good. So this is when we know that this is the bloody scene that we see in the elevator, in those future scenes when Bonnie goes and sees all that on the walls and everything. It actually was Laurel's blood from going into labor. But anyway, she passes out. The baby comes out. I was like, oh my God, is that the baby? I had to rewind that a few times too, because it almost looked like an alien. It was just not moving and she was knocked out. I was just like, oh my God. Now, Fine Ass Frank is still trying to reach Laurel. He cannot find her. We see when Annalise got home and she actually heard the screaming out, she realizes that it was Laurel and that she's stuck on the elevator. So Annalise rushes to the elevator. She tells her that I called 911. They're on their way. Okay, she got a butter knife and child, she get that elevator door open. She's trying to reach Laurel, but she can't really reach her. She grabs her foot. She's trying to wake her up. Laurel ain't waking up, baby. Okay, she sees the baby there, and the baby looks like it's dead. It's still the umbilical cord and all that. All right, so she gets on the phone with 911, and they're trying to tell her what to do to try to save this baby. She's trying to grab the baby. She finally gets the baby, brings them through the elevator, and she is sitting there on the floor trying to give CPR to this baby, child. I was sitting there looking like, oh, my Lord. The baby looked like it was just lifeless. And she was trying to do the CPR and she was just pushing his chest. And I said, listen here, Shonda and Peter. Annalise ain't going to be able to take no more children dying, okay, on her watch. There's absolutely no way that you can let this baby die. Annalise, it would have just been the end of Annalise, and that would have been the end of the show, and we wouldn't have had nothing else to talk about. Now, at the office, the police is questioning everybody. Connor calls Michaela and tells her that, Laurel is missing, and he's talking on and on about, how they shouldn't have did this, and, he's just basically telling the whole plan. We see Laurel's dad's bodyguard, the henchman, he's downstairs and he's listening. So I was just like, why is he at Wes's? Because Connor was at Laurel's place, which is Wes's place, trying to find out where Laurel is, and the man is down there listening. All right, so I'm not sure if he was following Connor, if he was going to Wes's to kill Laurel, or what was he doing there? I'm not quite sure why. But anyway, now he knows that they were trying to take the father down. I said, this is bad news. Back at the party, they're arresting Asher. Not quite sure what Asher may have told the police, but yeah, Asher's being taken down. And then back at the scene with Annalise, okay, she's still trying to administer the CPR. She's pressing the poor little baby's chest. And then, as the show closes out and it has the How to Get Away with Murder on the chalkboard, that comes going by. And then the scene closes out. And then all of a sudden you hear a baby cry. And that is how the winter finale ended for How to Get Away with Murder. I love this show, you guys. All right, you guys, so that's it. Let me get off of here. Make sure you rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I'm itsrox. The channel is for itsrox. Everything else I do will be in the bottom bar. All right. So I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. I plan on doing the same. Till next time, Roxstars. Bye.